Warren. It's the first item of business for the Drainage Board today are minutes. They were sent via email. Any alteration or correction? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
And I'll second that. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
2-0. Jared, right to you.
Good evening. On the old business, the only real update I have is on the Carl Helms tile, and not so much on the replacement of the section that we were going to replace, but the section that was plugged up with tree roots on the main drain. I had contacted each of you individually, the 3 Drainage Board members individually. Cooley Contracting, I did get a hold of them, and they said that they had the ability to jet out a tile that size. And I think it was on Veterans Day, I got a phone call early that morning that they were going to be in town if they wanted us to do something with it. So did have them start to jet it out, and something broke on their truck, and I got a text later on in the day that whatever it wasn't repairable right there, that they would have to take the truck back to the shop and that they'd have to reschedule to get back here. So they have not rescheduled. They had got partway through the root wad that they were trying to get through, but they said they'd have to reschedule and come back. So haven't heard any updates since then.
Okay.
So he said they weren't making headway until the truck broke. So it sounds like they'll be able to get it cleaned out. I don't have, like I say, I don't have any other updates on the other 2 unless you've got something, Ted.
I do not.
Okay. So under new business, and you should have a map in front of you, this is out in mainly Chester and Jackson townships, kind of near Keystone, Indiana, and then to the west. Surf Internet, they are asking to install buried, some of it buried, some of it overhead, I think. Internet conduit with fiber. The purple lines is the areas that they are actually running down, and they are crossing, in Jackson Township, they are crossing the Kelly, Stotts, and Shadle open drains and the Alexander and the Stotts tile drains. In Chester Township, they are crossing the Mormon, Markley, Crosby, Brickley, Scuffle Creek, Keystone, Maddox, Slusher, Shadle, and Geiger open ditches. And on the tile drains, they're crossing the Sills, Gregg, Moore, Crosby, Mowry, Castle, Irvin, Faust, and the Keystone Prong tiles. So, several crossings. I believe some of the work, and I think there was a little bit of confusion between whoever was doing their permitting. I think they had gotten approval from the Highway Department to be in the road right-of-way, and perhaps didn't know that they were supposed to get crossing permits for the drains. They knew where the open ditches were, but they didn't realize that there were tiles that were also included in that. So it's not all done. There are a few of those crossings that I believe are already done. So once they realized that they needed to get the permits for the drains, the company that we worked with was super to work with. We asked them if they could just send us, originally they sent us a set of plans that was about 225 pages long, I think it was. And we said, could you just send us a shape file of like where you're gonna be running? And within a few hours, we had the shape file, and you could put it in our GIS, and you could actually tell where things were. And so it was a much simpler process after that. So, but they have been good to work with. I think it was an honest, just error on their part.
Do we follow up, make sure they get their permits for under the tracks?
So as long as they're within a road right-of-way, I don't think they have to get additional permitting from the railroads.
Okay.
They stay within a road right-of-way, is my understanding. That is one thing to consider whenever you put your commissioner hats on and you're vacating crossings over the railroads. Keep that in mind, that once that road right-of-way goes away, crossing under the tracks at that location is not nearly as easy. So that wherever there's a road right-of-way, it's a lot easier for a utility to cross a railroad. So just in the future, if you're asked to vacate a roadway where there's a railroad crossing, just keep that in mind. I think if the utility's already there, it's kind of grandfathered in. If there needs to be a new crossing go through, that's where it becomes a whole new degree of difficulty. So,
Are you in agreement that there are encroachments into the drain areas based upon this request?
on this,
Yes.
yeah, there are a number of places that they're gonna cross our drains.
Okay. Do we have sufficient information? Just because I can't tell from this document, and you're certainly much more experienced than I am, and I'm sure the commissioners are more experienced than I am as well.
This is mainly just showing you the physical locations. They sent us like I say, a 225-page plan set. I didn't want to cut down that many trees to print off 4 or 5 sets of those plans. I mean, in the plan set, it shows depths, it shows various things that we have that information. This is more of just here's where they're physically located so that you guys know where they're going.
Are you intending to record this then?
The approval would be recorded, yes.
So just, and that would be sufficient,
Yes, yes.
okay, as opposed to recording it as we would in regard to a particular parcel of real estate? Because this would not be, okay, but the approval could be recorded.
It'll just be
general
recorded as a
document.
miscellaneous record, yes.
Okay.
That they have the approval to cross our open drains, the ones that I listed off and at various locations, yeah.
Where does it originate at? This. Is there sites they're coming in from?
So
Or is there-
my understanding, and I don't know where, I think they actually, it's coming from Blackford County. How much farther south than that, I don't know. My understanding is part of the rural broadband. There were areas that were unserved by AT&T or Verizon or whoever. This was the company that got the grant and territory, I guess, for lack of a better term, for this area that was underserved. I think probably at our next meeting, we'll have another one of these, not from Surf Internet, but from another company that's in Nottingham Township, that they're kind of filling in the gaps
Right.
in Nottingham. And that there were a lot of different companies that applied for those rural broadband, I don't know
Right.
what program, it was Next Level Connections, or I'm not sure what it was, through the state. They just happened to be the one that covered this area. So a lot of Jackson Township and even Chester Township is covered by Citizens Telephone over at Warren.
Right.
So it's kind of a shame that they didn't get this as well. I mean, they cover a lot of that area already, so, but
Right.
they were not awarded the project, so.
Just so I understand, the plan is that the utility installation or the pipeline installation will go below the existing
Yes.
drain?
And our requirement is that they be 5 feet below.
Okay.
We've sent those specifications to them. What we will have to do on some of those that have already been installed prior to them getting permit is we'll have to have them run a locator through their conduit to verify that they actually did.
Okay. Do you have manpower to do such a project? Okay.
The one and only.
Just wanted to be sure you had your boots on. Okay.
Need a motion to approve.
Make the motion to approve the right-of-way.
Surf Internet.
Surf Air Wireless. I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, aye? Aye. 3-0.
Other than that, that's all project updates or anything that I have for right now. We have a couple of open ditch projects that are either starting or finishing. There was one, it's on the Pace McLean Drain out near Petroleum, Indiana. Just doing some erosion repairs on a ditch out there. And then we're gonna be doing a bottom dip that they'll be starting on the Carnes Drain here pretty quickly. And then I was hoping to have quotes for some tile replacements at this meeting. That's probably gonna be at our next meeting, so.
Anything else for Drainage Board?
No, sir.
Hey, anything for us? Nope. There's nothing? Thank you. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, aye. 3-0, thank you.